Next up, we're going to invite our Acadia Fire Chief, Chief Chen Suen, to come up here and say a few words for us. Please give it up for Chief Suen. We can do better than that. This isn't Monrovia. Come on. I'm allowed to say that, I think. Chief Suen.
OK， 我们要感谢一下刚才那一位歌手 Erica 国场为我们带来的一支非常振奋人心的歌，叫做《Rise Up》，就是站起来。它呢就是说描绘了一种充满力量，象征着在逆境当中不屈不挠、勇往直前的精神。然而呢，这就是我们消防员每天都在践行的信念。接下来的话，我们要请我们的消防局长孙局长为我们做一个汇报，做一个 presentation。那please make the slides ready for Chen Suen.
Thank you for the introduction. Before I start, are we able to dim the lights a little bit more so that way we can see the presentation? Perfect, thank you. Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? As I mentioned, my name is Chen Suen, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as your fire chief. Tonight, I wanted to first thank ACA again for naming us as this year's recipient. I'm going to be talking about what tonight is all about, why, again, working with the ACA board, why the fire department was selected again. But before I do that, I just wanted to, ACA wanted me to come up and provide an update, basically, of the fire department. Some things, 2024, we had the busiest year again. We broke another record. We had 6,136 calls, Of those, 5,100 were medical calls, 700 were fire-related calls. We transported 3,471 patients to the hospital. And we conducted almost 15,000 hours of training last year in 2024 alone. But tonight, I know on everyone's mind, what is on everyone's mind is the recent fires, the Eaton fire. So I will actually not provide an update of the fire department itself. We're going to talk about why we're here tonight. So first slide. So as you all know, the fire started on January 7th in the Pasadena Eaton Canyon area. It quickly burned to 400 acres. It was not contained. By the next day, it grew to 10,000 acres. Due to the strong winds, within about 2 weeks, we were able to, collectively with all the resources on the fire, we were able to contain it just above 50%, and then finally on January 31st, 2025, the fire was fully contained. As Rep. Chu mentioned earlier, unfortunately 7 people died on the Eaton fire. Over 9,400 structures were destroyed. During the first 48 hours of that fire, aside from myself and the deputy chief, we had 31 Arcadia firefighters battling the fire. And that is round the clock. They were out in the field, pulling hose, saving homes for the first 48 hours. Luckily, no serious injuries were sustained by our firefighters. We had some folks that had some eye irritation, smoke inhalation, but at this point, nothing serious. Before I go on to the next slide, I'm going to show you some firsthand accounts. These are going to be pictures and videos of our firefighters in the field. Without teaching you guys details of tactics and strategies, our firefighters in the field, the 31 that's listed up there, a good portion of that was on the east end. Much of our firefighting forces were really dedicated to the wind event. Once the fire started, they knew that they had to move over to adjacent communities. They knew the more homes they saved with those winds, the more they could do in the field, the less embers that could potentially be cast into our city. So their focus the night before was heavily in Sierra Madre. We had folks in East Pasadena, around the clock, like I mentioned, till the next day. So again, I'm gonna show you firsthand video and some pictures of the 7th through the 8th. Go ahead, next slide.
That is Pasadena on fire in the hills right here. That glow that you see is absolutely immense.
So nutso is not a technical term, but as you can see, even driving up to the fire, it took our firefighters. They were looking at this immense fire come in. I took that picture on the bottom left. That's at the Rose Bowl, right when the sun was rising on the 8th. That was the command post for the incident. I was there for the duration from the night before through the night to the next morning. So that's what the Rose Bowl looked like. And these are various pictures. On the top right, that is our resources up in our north end. So that the fire was quickly approaching. As you can see, the smoke, a good indication of how the wind is blowing is looking at that smoke. As you can see, that smoke is still laying down. If you guys know, when smoke and heat rises, it goes straight up. But if you can look at that smoke, it's off to the side. Next slide, please.
6, Genoa Way, with BLS 107. Battalion 705, 60. Has a 50-foot tree.
As I mentioned, our firefighters were doing the best they could out there, trying to put out the fires. They understood and recognized that the more fire they could put out, the less embers potentially could be cast to adjacent cities, streets, and also communities. Next slide, please.
Good.
Train 105, 1041. 1041, go ahead. Behind 606 Auburn.
That picture in the bottom middle, a lot of people ask me, they think it's a fake picture. AI created it. That was not AI created. That was a mall taken from the parking lot of our mall. So you can see the conditions in there were pretty tough. Our firefighters had a big assignment. They worked around the clock, and they saved a lot of homes. Aside from our firefighters, I just want to take a moment. I know there's been a lot of clapping, but again, I do want to recognize not just our firefighters, but our police officers. Our police department was out there. They were assisting us as soon as we determined, when I talked to my boss, the city manager, when we determined where we were going to evacuate, I made a quick phone call to our police chief, and our police officers went out there door to door over loudspeakers evacuating the north end of our city. Our firefighters were out there fighting fires. I know we don't have much city staff except my boss here, but I want to recognize my boss and firefighters and police department just for their efforts those 2 nights.
I'm gonna take an MC prerogative and say, can we stand up and give a standing ovation to our first responders here in Arcadia and our whole city staff? Thank you so much for putting yourself out there.
All right, so again, why are we here tonight? Obviously, the ongoing efforts of fire safety and fire prevention is extremely important. I wanted to talk about a number of ongoing, current, and future initiatives the fire department will be doing. And I'm going to finish up with CERT. I know it was mentioned a couple of times, and I'll talk about CERT. But let's start with the first one. Next slide. So anybody here that lives above Orange Grove, you understand that you live in an area that's called a very high fire severity zone. There are a number of requirements if you live in that area. On March 24th, the state is going to release new maps that are going to redesignate areas. Coincidentally and unfortunately with the fires, they were actually going to release this in January, but due to the fires, they actually delayed the release. And so with these maps, they are going to separate out these different zones. And so with current regulations as far as what you need to do to create defensible space, building construction requirements, things of that nature, on March 24th, they are going to expand that area. And we are going to look to organize and create a number of community education events. We will have an internal city team that will include our public works, our development services, and of course our fire prevention department, and we will be educating the public what these maps mean. Next slide. Regional Fire Training Center, we've been envisioning a training center for probably about 2.5 years now. Rep Chu mentioned it early. We were fortunate enough to apply for a grant for that. We are so fortunate, as I mentioned up here, that we've received support from so many levels. We have letters written from the Sierra Madre Fire Department, the Pasadena Fire Department, our police department, the U.S. Forest Service, Catherine Barger's office. We had Mike Fong's office also write a letter. Our city council at the time, under Mayor Villado, wrote us a letter. So we had a ton of support for this project, and we are continuing to march through to see it to reality. What is it? So, if you guys didn't know, the U.S. Forest Service, their Angeles Forest headquarters is actually located in Arcadia. It's right below the 210 freeway. We are looking to partner with them, create a facility that both of us can use. We envision this to be a facility and resource that agencies across the region can use once it's built. We're going to continue seeking funding opportunities through our foundation. We've come up with some promising funding, and we'll continue to seek funding. Next slide. The third thing, there's a thing, the San Gabriel Valley COG is actually, they've been working on this for the last about a year and a half. It's a California Wildfire Protection Plan. And what it is, it's a regional plan. We've been working on it collaboratively with other cities. There's many cities that has provided their input. We're looking at risks, we're looking at assessments. After looking at those, we are going to look at an action plan, an evacuation plan from a regional perspective. I wanted to mention it to all of you because you guys are all stakeholders. There is a meeting, a workshop, March 11th at our library, where it will provide you an opportunity to learn more about this plan and also provide input. Next slide. So CERT. So how do we get here today? So when I attended ACA's installation, I think it was back in June-ish, they had mentioned their theme of envision, engage, and empower. Coincidentally, at the time, our department was already looking at potentially creating a CERT team. So I had a conversation with the ACA board. They wanted to be a part of this. They saw a good opportunity again to partner with the fire department to assist us in the potential launch of this program, to engage, to empower community members to do something, to encourage volunteerism. And so what is CERT? It educates volunteers about disaster preparedness for the hazards that may occur where they live. It provides nationwide consistent volunteer training and organization system that supports professional responders in focusing on complex disaster tasks. So all that means is that these volunteers will support the fire department. In an event like the fires, we may activate, in the future, we may activate this team to help us in certain tasks. And so it would give the community a part in this to help the fire department and the community. Next slide. So what is the components of CERT? So a typical CERT training covers a couple of weekends. You go over fire safety, just like this picture shows. You learn how to use a fire extinguisher effectively. You learn skills for light search and rescue. You learn how to triage. That's what these colored tarps are. It's putting people, depending on how sick or injured they are. CERT teams may assist with that. So all these pictures here, you see people in green helmets and green vests. These are volunteers. These are community members that are serving their community on a volunteer basis. And that's what we're hoping to launch in Arcadia. Last slide. A quick video for you.
Do you have the capabilities to react to that situation? It's really empowering to know that you're what's going to be there first, you're what's going to come first to people.
Our volunteers are made up of really everyone. They are some of the most amazing people that you'll ever meet. They're all different, and they all want to be part of our CERT program for many different reasons.
Everybody brings a skill. That's the beauty of CERT.
So again, what's the benefits? It improves community preparedness for disasters. It's a partnership between our community and our city through the fire department. It strengthens community engagement and trust-building initiatives. You train with us, we train with you. We continue to build trust, a good understanding of what our city does and what your fire department does. And it's efficient resource management strategies. When we go out and we train on disaster preparedness, you know that a lot of times, especially in large disasters, we encourage community members to be self-sufficient for 72 hours. So during these large-scale events, having a CERT team would certainly assist with us in the response side. So we are tentatively launching it. Obviously, we have to go through the budgeting process. ACA, thank you again for fundraising for part of this. There are a number of policies, procedures. We have to work for FEMA, but that is a goal of ours and a dream of ours. So again, thank you again, ACA. I do have a certificate here that I wanted to present. Maybe if I can have Sho and Susan, the co-presidents. So it reads, Certificate of Appreciation and Grateful Recognition. We hereby present Arcadia Chinese Association with a Certificate of Appreciation congratulating Arcadia Chinese Association on its annual gala and recognizing its contributions to our local communities and public safety. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chen. It's a picture time again. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It's very informative and... All right, another round of big applause for our fire chief, Suen.